a past tense Z here. This is not going to be part of the previous episode, but it will be part of the newest episode that's going to come out. We've got a pallet problem. I've never experienced this before, but evidently, when all of us have too many pallets on, no more pallets will spawn and no more pallets will be produced. It won't actually make any more. So it's a big problem. I've been holding on to these pallets for a while, for these pumpkins more specifically than anything. We're not going to get the best price here, but we're going to get a pretty decent one at the farmer's market here for 1107. It's not a huge loss. I'm going to take the small, tiny loss here and sell them now. And after, I'm going to the wrong spot, first of all. Second of all, after this is done, you'll go back to the normal September episode, the next episode, if you will. But I threw this in here briefly just because I wanted to show you and prove to you that I don't have the ability to do so anyway. I'm on console. But even if you thought I was, I don't have the ability to do any kind of cheats or anything like that. As you can see, Rusty's talking in the background. He's still on. You can't hear him, but he's still on. They're both still on. We're just we're going to do this to make sure we're able to actually continue to produce stuff, all of this, so it's fair for everyone. So I'm going to go ahead and sell these. If we end up losing by about $1,000, we lose by about $1,000, right? That's the way I'm going to look at it. So there we go. There's a specific spot for all these to sell, but we're going to make an okay amount of money off this. All right, that puts us up to 61,000, but we sold a bunch of them, and as I mentioned, now back to your regularly scheduled September episode. Alright gang, welcome back to our competitive one-tile challenge here on Farmlands with my friends Rusty Mining Gaming and Crustu. Make sure you check out their channels. The links to each of theirs is down below in the description. They're coming out with some good stuff, right? We've got a lot going on here. We've got a lot of good things happening here, so make sure you check them out, give them some support. And today is September. And we've got quite a bit to do, as a matter of fact. We've got to put down some second applications of fertilizer in our new grass field and our canola field. We've got to plow up that field there. Don't necessarily have to drill it today, but we can drill it today. We also have our distant grass field that is ready to mow. And we want to sell some of the pallets. I've already started loading up some of the aged goat cheese pallets, and as you can probably tell, and I think I probably did a bit of an early recording on this. I know for a fact I did. It's been a couple of days. I've been gone on vacation or whatever, but anyway, I had to sell some pallets. We've run into the very first issue that we've run into in this series, which is we now have too many pallets on the map, and it's freaking out about it, and it's not allowing any more pallets to spawn. So I went and sold a bunch of, well, I say bunch of, I sold all of the pumpkins that we had remaining that I had stored just up on the trailer, and I sold them for a slight loss from what it could be, but it wasn't anything major. So really what we're going to boil it down to is if I end up losing by a couple $1,000s, that's the reason why. So it's a-okay, right? I was the one hoarding most of the pallets, and to be honest with you, and I said this to the guys, and they thought it was funny, but, I mean, I've done the same thing too, but I'm blaming them because they came through in the last episode, or last couple episodes, I guess, and just demolished all of my pallets, and it caused more pallets to spawn up on the map, right? So that's part of the problem, in my eyes. So I'm blaming them for it, although we both have, all three of us, I guess I should say, we all have, a hand to play in that because we've all been doing it to each other. But nonetheless, I did sell the pumpkins so that way things could spawn. It looks like we're having that same situation again. So we're going to have to figure something out here. I think a lot of it has to do with how many cricket pallets we've spawned. We've spawned a lot of cricket pallets. Wasn't really an issue until we bumped up the cricket flower and the pallets are going a little nuts. But, we'll get through it. We'll figure it out. Nonetheless, we are going to sell the aged goat cheese today. There's probably about, I don't know, eight pallets or something like that. So that's going to make us some good money. We're also going to go into here like we normally do, and we're going to turn on the selling of the electric charge and the methane. I'm not going to sell the digestate right now. We've got quite a bit of digestate in there. I'm not going to sell it right now. I think we could send a little bit more over to the fertilizer plant, but they still have plenty for the time being. So right now we're just going to keep the digestate, and eventually we'll sell the digestate really when it's best to sell, just because our fertilizer plant unfortunately cannot keep up with the number of the amount of digestate, I should say, that we're sending there. So it is what it is. But yeah, we're cruising along, man. We're moving along nicely here. Things are going well for us. Hopefully you're all doing well. I can say that a brand new series just started yesterday. It was a series that I actually was not even planning on doing. My friend Crestu, who's a part of this challenge, came up with a challenge of his own. It piqued my interest, so I decided to take part in it. It's going to kind of shift things a bit, hopefully not make a whole lot of changes for the upcoming different series that I've talked about. I can tell you the Triple Threat Challenge, it's not really going to shift anything there. Besides the fact that the Triple Threat Challenge is likely not going to start until next week, but that was already going to be the case regardless if I took this on or not. A lot of you, as I asked for, a lot of you mentioned some maps that I really need to spend some time and look into, and unfortunately, I just haven't had the time to do so yet, but I'm going to look at all those maps so to make sure that, you know, I'm not making a mistake. Not that I think I am making a mistake, but just to make sure, I'm going to look at the maps that all of you mentioned, and just make sure that, you know, what the one I'm planning on picking is still the correct one, making sure that I haven't missed anything. There's a couple that some of you said, and I did check those. I didn't dislike them, but it wasn't perfect for the type of series I was trying to run with the Triple Threat Challenge, and then there's some other ones that you've mentioned that I have never even looked into, so to be fair to the series and to all of you, I'm going to spend a couple of days looking into that. I likely won't be able to do so or have the time to do so until this weekend. Mostly because of real life situations. I was gone, right, and now my boss is gone for the next 2 weeks, so I've got a little bit more on my plate than I normally would at work. So, you know, I just haven't had as much time just to play around and check the maps out and just drive around them. Because whenever I pick a map for a series, normally I drive around the map, pretty much hit most of the map. You know, just to make sure, right? Because there might be a little area that I like, but if I hate the rest of the map, then it may not work out, right? So I want to do that to the other maps that I saw in the comments from previous episodes that I discussed that on. So I'm going to do that here this weekend and make my decision, and we'll start the Triple Threat Challenge some point next week. But yeah, at the time of this recording, only one episode of the it's called the Island Preservation Challenge. Really what it is an island, it's an extreme island, an island extreme challenge or whatever. It's really what it is that Crestu came up with. It definitely is, I mean, maybe I'm biased here, but I do feel like it's a lot more difficult for me being on console versus those of them that are doing it that have super strength. I don't have that. Yeah, I have the ability to pick up, you know, bales and pallets, sure. Some bales and pallets, I should say it that way. But I don't have super strength, right? I can't just like lift up a machine and put it somewhere and save myself time or whatever. If I get something stuck, I can't just pick up the whole machine by hand, right? I don't have that luxury or that ability. So that's not the only reason why, but I definitely think that is definitely something that, you know, a console player would struggle with. But we're gonna go through it anyway. At the time of this recording, I've done 2 episodes. I am already struggling severely. I think I might have went about it the wrong way, so we might have to do a little bit of, I was making fun of Crestu earlier, but I might have to do a little bit of the Crestu approach here and sell some stuff that I purchased just to try to be able to make ends meet here, because we are struggling heavily, but we'll see, right? We will see how things go. We'll see. And yeah, we'll go at it from there, I guess. How's everyone doing today? I hope you're all doing well. My trip was good, mostly. I know it was a bachelor party. I think I mentioned that, and my best friend's bachelor party. Somewhere I don't really prefer to go to, but it was pretty. The biggest problem I had was my airliner. I was flying Delta. They lost my luggage. I got there on Tuesday. It was like Tuesday early afternoon, late morning, something like that. It was like 11 o'clock, something like that. 11:30, whatever, their time, not our time, not the Eastern time, their time. Yeah, I had nothing. I put everything in my carry-on bag. They forced me to check it, and yeah, they lost it. It was worse than that even, actually, because we were late getting in. My connection was in Atlanta. We were late getting into Atlanta. We then had to sprint. We had 6 minutes to go to another concourse and get on the plane. By the time we got there, they were starting to close the door. We pretty much had 45 seconds, or we would have never made it. We were screaming at the guy to stop, don't close the door. Luckily enough, he didn't do so, and we made it. But man, whew, it was just a rough time. Didn't get the bag, so we landed Tuesday. Didn't get the bag until Friday. I left on Saturday. It was something, man. I had Nothing. I had no toothpaste, no deodorant. I had nothing. No other set of clothes. Nothing. So it was a rough couple of days, but we made it through. It was still, I made the best of it, all things considered, but yeah, wasn't really the most ideal situation for us, unfortunately. All right, so that field is all plowed up. Now, I think what I would like to do, honestly, is probably drill the field right now and then sell the pallets after that, although it might make Chris and Rusty upset that I'm not selling anything right now, but I think that's the way to go, because last I looked... Ooh, speaking of that, there's a nice truck in there. I don't think we really need it, but there's a nice truck in there. Last I looked... Oop, wrong way. Aged goat cheese is still going up. It's not the best time. Obviously, the best time is January, but if you look at the time, look at the sell mounts here, there are some that are better than the average best, like 8604, and it's still going up. So that's kind of the reason why I'm like tempted to hold out just a little bit longer. Since I did sell those pumpkins early, I'm tempted to hold out a little bit longer and see if I can gain an extra $1 or $2. I know it's $1 or $2, and a lot of times I say it's not that big of a deal, but you know, $1 or $2 is $1 or $2, right? So yeah, we need some seeds. We don't have any seeds back behind us, do we? No, that's lime. Does this field need limed? No, it doesn't. Okay. All right. So we'll buy some seeds here. I'm not going to worry about the fertilizer right now. We do have fertilizer we can buy if we need to. I literally put that in the worst spot ever, and I have to pick up that other pallet, by the way. That's from the last episode. It spawned. I just haven't picked it up yet. It spawned right before we skipped to September. At least I think it did. Well, I'm going to say it did, even if it didn't. So we'll pick that up and sell that one as well. Alright, so let's get... what are we going to put in here? I don't want to put canola in here again. I think we're going to go wheat, just because we've got those chickens. You know, and they're eating a lot of food right now. So, not only that, we also have some other things we want to accomplish today. We have maxed out the goat pen, which means we need to sell some goats. We're going to make good money on those goats. We're going to make like $20-something thousand off those goats, which is going to be fantastic. Also, with some of that money from the pumpkins, I did buy a few other cows off camera. I'm trying to remember all the things I did from the last episode. I know for you it's not been that long, but for us it's been over a week now since we've done an episode. So I'm struggling here a minute, but we'll get back in the groove. Anyway, I did buy more cows. I've got 12 now instead of, I think we had like 10 or something like that. And I also bought a few more pigs as well. So as you can see there's quite a few more pigs. So I did that just because since we made some money with the pumpkins, I might as well try to utilize that to our advantage and make some more money from the BGA and whatever else, right? The milk that we're going to be making, I think I've made the decision on what we're going to do. I think we're going to go mozzarella. Now, the mozzarella is best to sell in January, so when next year comes around, we're going to have to sell it in December, but it should still be a decent price. All of the milk for the cow stuff, it's all January, so it doesn't really matter what I pick. But I think the mozzarella makes the most sense, just from what I could tell. Or the Gonzola, or whatever the heck it's called. One of those two were the ones that make the most sense, but I think I'm going to go mozzarella. We are getting stuck here for some reason. I don't know what's going on. Getting thrown all over the place. Now, the challenge that Christy came up with, the Island Preservation Challenge, I'm telling you guys, this thing is, it's crazy. Nope. Get off, please. Thank you. I don't want to, I'm going to have to pay a couple dollars. I'm trying to go into this. Thank you. It's basically you do start with some money, but man, is it struggling, right? You've got to buy land with the amount of money you start with. It's not a ton of money, and then you've got to figure out ways to go about it. And really, the main objective is to own the entire map and build your dream home on this island. But to get there are a lot of restrictions. He's put a lot of constraints and restrictions on it, which make it super difficult. Example is you're not allowed to chop down any trees. except for utilizing them for construction projects like your dream home, or if you want to build anything else that's a construction project, you can do so. But if you chop one of those trees down, you got to plant 5 trees. You're not allowed to sell stones of any sort or change them into anything. Those are only going to be utilized for construction projects, right? If I want to sell anything of any sort at all to the shop, or in this case the harbor, I have to put them or make them into some kind of a pallet form. I cannot sell just grain straight outright. It's gonna be a struggle, man. It's I'm already struggling, like I said, but it's gonna be a struggle. I think once you get a little solidified, though, I think once you've gone through maybe a year, maybe 2, I think it won't be too bad at that point, right? Because you're gonna have a little bit more equipment, things like that, at your disposal. I think it won't be terrible at that point, but man, right now, we are on the struggle bus. So if you haven't checked out yesterday's episode, I highly recommend you do. There's going to be episode 2 coming out, I think, tomorrow. I think we'll have this episode on Thursday. Well, if it's not, there'll be 2 episodes out of that series. If this is on Thursday, then there's only going to be 1 so far at the time of you watching this. But the next one will be out tomorrow, if that makes sense. What else can we talk about? We've got to start paying for the items we need for the sugar beets, right? We've got to harvest the sugar beets. We're going to need all that stuff here very, very soon. November, I believe, is when our sugar beets are going to be ready to harvest, which is great for us because November, there's not really a whole lot to do. Winter months, there's not really a whole lot to do. So this is going to help us tremendously from that approach, which is a good thing, right? It's a very good thing. But we're going to have to pay for it. Now, 9 o'clock hits, we're going to make a lot of money. We're going to make a lot of money. I can tell you that right now. We've got a ton of electric charge. Almost 200. It really is. Almost 200,000 liters of electric charge. That's a lot, man. That's a lot. Now, a couple other things we need to do today. We need to start transferring all of the manure and the slurry over to the BGA and start making money there. For whatever reason, it does say that there's manure in here. I think it's trying to steal it from the cow enclosure. I don't know if it's actually working or not. I have it on, and it doesn't give me the red exclamation mark, so I think it is working, but, whatever. If it takes it out of there, great. I don't have to worry about it. But the slurry does not go there, so I have to move the slurry. Now, to get the slurry there, we're going to have to buy some kind of a slurry tanker, right? We don't have that at current, so that's something we need to buy. Same thing goes for the milk. We've got to get some kind of a tanker so we can move the milk around. Our water tank we currently have, it's a great water tank. I'm happy I bought it at the used price, but it only does water. So we're going to have to buy some more tankers, or Bowsers, or however you want to word it, depending on where you're from. We're going to have to buy some more of those today, ideally, so we can move some of that stuff around. Maybe the milk's not as big of a thing right now. Maybe it's not as important right now, but soon enough it will be. Soon enough it will be. Now, really, I want to get that grass mowed, and I'm actually considering throwing a worker on the grass right now. I might have enough time, I feel like, to get it all done, potentially. You've seen me mow the grass so many times, that's why I'm kind of considering not putting a worker on it and saving myself $200-300. It's not like it's going to be outrageous, but, whatever it ends up being. But we do have a lot to do today, like I already talked about. I've got to fertilize that field. We've got to fertilize the canola field over there. And then the grass field, we've got to move all that stuff around, all the slurry and the manure, etc. We've got all that stuff to do. We've got to sell some goats today, which is going to make us a lot of money. Because I'm not even pretty sure, I know our goat is maxed out. Hell, our chickens might be maxed out again. As a matter of fact, I think they might be. So we need to look at that too, probably. Because if we need to sell some chickens, we'll do so. I understand I'm taking a bit of a loss when I'm selling the animals directly versus actually transporting them, but from a time savings perspective, I'm okay with taking the about $1,000 loss or whatever it is. That's fine. It is what it is. We've got other bigger things to fry than worrying about that $1,000, because it's going to cost us, I don't know, $10,000 for a trailer, and we're not going to be able to move all of them at the same time. It's going to take us multiple trips back and forth and back and forth. Almost 9 o'clock here. We're going to see here in just a second how much money we get. I expect it to be relatively decent. There it goes, baby. There it goes. We made, woof, $65,000 we just made off of that. That is fan-freaking-tastic. That is a lot of money, man. How are the guys doing? What are they looking like money-wise? Oh, Rusty and Krusty have 139, 122, 115. As soon as I sell the aged goat cheese, though, we're gonna be on a different level. We're gonna be on a different level. We're gonna be pushing 200,000 as soon as we sell his aged goat cheese. Now, what are we gonna do with all this money? Well, one, I already told you, we're gonna have to buy some of the equipment that we need for the sugar beets. It's an unfortunate loss that we'll have to take, but it is something we need to do. The remainder of that money, honestly, I'm gonna put it into the loan. We really need to pay more of that loan off. I would love to be able to pay $100,000 of the loan off today. Drop it down to $300,000 remaining. I would love to get that point. Will we get there? I don't know. I don't know. Like I said, the goats they're going to be like $20-something thousand from the goats, man. Just from selling like 20 of them or whatever it is. Like, it's not even I'm selling a ton of them. I'm selling a small amount. It's going to be big money, man. It's going to be big. It's going to be big money. And then when it comes time to sell all the flour and the marmalade and the insect flour, especially, we're looking pretty, baby. We are looking pretty. I can tell you that right now. We're looking pretty. I'm telling you, I scared the bejeebus out of these guys when I got that BGA down. That's why they both put a BGA down within the next episode or two, whatever it was. I put them on notice, man. I put them on notice. I'm here to win. And it's all friendly. We're having a good time, but I'm here to win, man. I'm not gonna lose. I probably will, but I'm just talking like I'm not. I'm not gonna lose the very first competition that I've ever come up with. So, I tell you what we're going to do here. I am going to put a worker on doing the mowing here. The more I think about it, the more we have to do here. I think it's probably smart for us to at least get the mowing done. We can maybe do the baling and everything else. Well, we have to do the baling, I guess, right? Where am I going? Here we go. Rusty, I told you. Here we go. No pun intended. Forgot I've got all my mowing stuff up here. Speaking of that up here, I can show you, I did spend a tiny bit of money doing a little bit of paint work on the ground. I said I was going to do that anyway because, you know, the grass field was a little awkward at this point. So I did do that. Look at all those eggs we got, man. Oh, that's going to be so much money. Oh, it's going to be good. But I did spend a little bit of money down here. You'll see it here in just a second. Just putting down, I basically just utilized the same like animal mud, dirt, whatever you want to call it, and just kind of expanded it out so there's not any kind of, you know, the worker getting stuck or anything like that. Now, they might still get stuck as I say that on the fence here because it's still pretty close to the fence, but you get what I mean. This area right here that used to be grass that you could mow, I got rid of that. Just because I do think we're going to be utilizing a worker a lot more than we have in the past right now. For the end of the series, All right, workers going. We can go back here and get this underway. So I just want to keep a constant eye here on the aged goat cheese. I don't want it to start dropping. The farmer's kiosk is dropping, so I would suspect that the restaurant will start dropping here any minute. So when we get this field done. We got to roll this field, too. I didn't even think about that. We got to roll this field, too. But when we get this field done, I think we're going to go sell that aged goat cheese. Let's just sell it. Let's get the money for it. And we'll kind of go from there. Now, silage is empty, so we'll go ahead and stop the silage there. Even though it says there's 8 liters in there, I guess there's a bit of a glitch there. I don't know. Manure's still going, so we'll let the manure continue to do its thing. But manure's still going. So I've rambled on for a while. We've got a lot to do. I've kind of explained to you all the things we got to do. Let's see what we can get done here. I'm going to get this field kind of complete, really. I'm going to get it drilled. I'm going to get it rolled. And then we'll keep an eye on the price. If the price starts to fall at all, we will stop and go and sell that aged goat cheese and make that money there. But if it's still going up, When we get this field done and rolled, then we'll fertilize the grass field, we'll fertilize the canola field, and then we'll go and sell it. We are pretty much, I think, done with the fertilization here. We might need to do one more pass on this field. I think I missed a tiny little bit there. But we're going to take a look at it here just for a second, and then we're going to go sell stuff. The price is still going up. Actually, Rusty's shop is actually the best price right now, 8662. It's still going up, so not a big concern. We've made $2 extra per pallet at this point right now, which is nothing really, but, you know, whatever. Yeah, there's a couple actually passes that we missed here that we need to touch up on. Yeah, there's a couple. So, it's somewhere in this vicinity here. I'm just going to kind of drive down the middle. Alright, the worker completed their task finally. That's good. Looks like there's a couple little missed spots as there's going to be. I kind of expected that, if I'm honest with you. But... you know, mostly they got all of it done, so we'll take it, right? That saved us some time, so we'll take it. Nice thing is we have got plenty of solid fertilizer here. We're not going to need to get more out of our fertilization or our fertilizer production, excuse me. So we're fine there, right? So we're perfectly fine. Now, I need to get that grass up pretty quickly, and I can put the worker on rolling that field for us as well, potentially, while we kind of do some transportation type of stuff. Now, for the transportation type of stuff that we need to do, you know, moving the slurry, etc., all that stuff around, really what we need is we need this tractor for the rolling, and we need the tractor that the worker was using, the original tractor, to do all the carting type of stuff. It's going to be a little heavy for it, I think, but I think that's really the best bet for us here. So we need to get that grass up pretty quickly here, and then we can kind of go from there. So what I'm going to likely do is when we're done with this, since the price is still going up for the aged goat cheese, I mean, there's really no reason for me to not continue doing what we're doing here. I might as well try to keep getting, you know, squeezing every extra dollar I can get out of it. So that's what we're going to do. 8666 is a lot better than what the average best price is, so that's why I'm saying we're going to sell it. Now, could it be better in January? It very well could, yes. We should have some more aged goat cheese by then, though, so we can sell some more at that point, too, right? So, it's not a big deal, in my eyes. Let's make the money now, because we could utilize the money to help pay off the loan now, which, in turn, in the long run, is going to make us a lot more money, right? So, let's attempt to do that, right? All right, so I'm going to go around and try to touch up here a little bit. We need to touch this up a bit. I'm not really okay with leaving the small little amounts that are here. We really need that to be a part of the baling here. And really, I can try to go to the edge here like we normally do and get a little bit more, right? Get a little bit more out of it. So we need to make really one more pass. And we'll use the Mercedes for it. Why not? These end headland pieces here are going to have a little bit more, obviously, but at this point we're going to turn around and we're going to try to inch out every single bit of grass we can here. Since we do have that expanded width there on our baler, it's going to work out a little bit better for us, right? Now, I've got about 30 or so minutes left that I can record before the guys are saying we're going to be kind of done recording for this episode today. So, it's not a ton of time, but I should be able to get most of the things done that we need to get done. Whatever it is that we cannot get done, I can do it off camera, but I'm going to try to get as much as I can done with all of you, especially the selling of the animals, the selling of, the aged goat cheese, hopefully the maneuvering of all the different slurry and everything else that we need to move around, right? Hopefully. I need to kind of look into some different tankers for that. I'm not quite sure which one to take on that. I really don't know. There's a lot of choices I think we could pick between. We could go from, the cheaper approach to the smaller one, but I'm not sure that's quite the one we should go for, although for the milk at least, we're not going to have a ton, right? We know we're not going to have a ton, so maybe that is the way to go. I don't know. But the slurry, we're going to have a lot more because we've got both pigs and the cows, so we're going to have a lot more from that, so... Cost me $643 for the worker to mow that grass. It's a lot of money. But, you know what? That's okay. Oh, shit, we made more money. Did I not turn that? I thought I turned this off. Whoops. I didn't turn them off. Shoot. Well, we'll put them back on storing. Whoops. That's my fault. I don't think that manure has moved at all. So maybe it's not in there. Maybe it's just acting like it's in there. I don't know. I don't think that manure did anything. So I might be wasting money, as a matter of fact, by... having that on, but we're going to utilize it today anyway, so I guess we'll leave it on for right now. Or maybe it's glitched. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know the answer to that one. Also, probably need to do a little bit of, some maintenance water runs. I can do some of that off camera, but I think most of the things can probably hold off until the next episode, I would suspect, where we'll have a lot less to do. Like I said, I don't think our sugar beets are going to be ready to harvest until November. I'm pretty sure I planned that on purpose. So next month we'll have a lot less to do. So maybe we wait and buy all the equipment next month. That's probably what we'll end up doing, because that gives us, something else we can look in doing next month, so we're not twiddling our thumbs, if you will. That probably makes the most sense. And that'll save me a little bit of time today, considering how much we have to do today. Or how much I want to get done. I guess have to is not really the right word, but... Alright. That's good enough. We probably could get a little bit more grass out of that, but I'm going to say that's good enough. All right, let's do one more thing here before we get started here. Let's just make sure the price is still going up. It is still going up. Man, it's going up a lot. It was 8666, now it's 8678. It's going up a lot, man. Holy cow. That's a lot. We just made a ton more money by doing that. I'm going to leave this here right now. I know that drives me crazy. I know it probably drives some people crazy too, but I'm going to leave that there right now just from a time-saving perspective. I can, clean that up here in a little bit. Let's just get going here. Anybody a hockey fan at all? The Eastern Conference right now is a little nuts. It's a little absolutely insane is really what it is in regard to all the teams trying to make the playoffs. It's crazy right now. If you look at the East and the West, the vast difference in I guess skill level of the teams is just insane. There's teams in the playoffs in the West that have significantly less points than teams in the East that aren't in the playoffs. It's crazy right now. Absolutely crazy. As you know, for a while, I'm a hockey fan, and growing up, I played hockey, and so I'm a Columbus fan by, association with Ohio when they got a team. But when I was younger, growing up playing hockey, I was actually a Colorado fan, and right now, Colorado is beating the Penguins, which is good for Columbus, because if they beat the Penguins, which they're beating them 5-1, and if Columbus hangs on and wins against Philly today, Philadelphia, we will move into second place in the playoffs for our division. So really exciting. I'm not really watching the game. It's unfortunately blacked out for me, but I'm kind of just keeping track of the score. And yeah, there's about 13 minutes left, slightly over 13 minutes left in the Colorado and the Pittsburgh game, and about 7 minutes left in the Columbus, the Blue Jackets, and the Philly, the Flyers game. So big time scoreboard watching today. All the teams that are fighting for the playoff spots right now, they're all playing today. So it's huge, massive games around the board. If you do watch hockey and you are a fan of hockey, who do you like? Who's your team? Let me know. I know Cresty is a Montreal fan, and his team is right there in the thick of it. The same with Columbus, trying to fight for a playoff spot. So we were talking about that before we started recording today. We were waiting on Rusty to get on, so it's exciting times right now if you like hockey. It's very exciting. Every game right now is a playoff game, and we're like 12 games, 13 games away from the playoffs, something like that. It's a very exciting time right now. I mean, that price is still going. It's 8685, and it's still going up. I mean, we might hit 87 before the end of the episode here. We really might. Let's get the rest of these bales picked up. Let's get it all done. We'll get them all auto-loaded, everything. We'll get all of that done, and then we can throw the worker on doing the rolling of this field and go from there. right, that is all done. We've got the worker going on getting that rolling going there. I did kind of forget that there was one pallet over here of aged goat cheese, but you know what? That's fine. We can sell that next month. It'll still be a decent price next month. It might even be better. Who knows? We're gonna go sell the aged goat cheese right now. And then from there, we're going to do some of the stuff we talked about that we need to do. More specifically than anything, I'm going to move the manure over into the BGA. I think, based on time alone, the guys are done. I'm not, so I'm the one that's a little behind here. I think based on time alone, I'm going to hold off on doing the slurry until the next month, considering next month we're going to have a smaller amount to do anyway. It's probably a little bit better. Won't mean we won't get as much money next month, but that's okay. We'll get more money the following month, right? So it's not a big deal. 8715, it's still going up, man. That's nuts. Let's go sell this at Rusty's sell point here. This is going to be a big payday, though. This is going to be huge. Oh, also, I need to turn on the silage. I did not turn that on, so I need to do that. Here we go. Boom, perfect. Yep. We're going to have to buy more silage additive. I will do that off camera, or maybe I'll do it next month. Who knows? It really depends on how much it chews through the silage here. Any off-camera work we do from now and until then. He's blocked my path. I got to go all the way around outside of his whole area here. They better go, man. They better go. $156,000. Oh, shit. Oh, man. I don't know how much money they made today, but I can tell you, I cannot guarantee they didn't make that much money. Oh, I'm feeling good, baby. I'm feeling good. All right, let's just drop this off right here for right now, because I'm going to need to utilize it to move some of those here in a second. Let's get the trailer here. We'll move the manure into the BGA and kind of go from there. I need to sell the goats too. Let me do that really quick before I forget, because I forgot last episode. I actually wanted to sell them last episode, but you know, the last couple of episodes we've had so much going on that I haven't even thought about doing that yet. So here we go. All right, we want to sell these, and we're going to sell these ones at 31 months. $20,000 coming our way. I'm going to sell these two. And let's see. Reproduction is 20. Okay, that should be enough for right now. We can sell more later, but that should be enough right now. Look at that. We're almost at 30 grand, gang. We are almost at $30,000. This is insanity. Whew. I feel really good about our position now. I feel really good about our position. Who knows what they've done? I haven't watched their video yet, but, you know, they could be a lot further along than I think. They could have a lot more of that loan paid off than I think. All right, let's just see what we can do here. And the next month we'll worry about all the water and all this stuff. I did take a little peek of that off camera. It appears that everything's going to be fine. The only thing that might not is the cactus might run out, maybe. But if it does, that's fine. We can take care of it next month. Not a big deal. We've got a lot of things that we're going to be selling here in the next couple of months, too. We've got a lot of things we're going to be selling. A lot. The money is going to be pouring in, man. Pouring in for us. I'm very happy I picked this one as the grass field. It allows us a lot more maneuverability here with backing stuff up into the BGA, etc. Now that we've got manure and slurry we're going to be putting in here. Right, we got one more trip to make, and then the slurry, and obviously I think this grass field here will be ready to mow next month, so we can do that. Selling anything else that might be ready, like that other pallet there of aged goat cheese. Maybe we'll have a second one, who knows. We'll have more silage that we'll be able to sell next month as well. Well, I say sell. We'll have more silage that'll be going into the BGA, and we'll be able to sell the product from the BGA, right? We've got a lot to do, so a lot coming. A lot of money coming our way. The worker looks like they're going to get most of this field done, I'll probably take over for the worker off camera and just kind of complete the headland pass, if you will. All right. Manure is in the trailer. Just got to go bring it and drop it off the BGA. And then just make sure everything's on. Everything should be on. But let's just make sure. Manure's on, yep. Silage is not on, but that's okay. It doesn't need to be on right now. Actually, it does need to be on. What am I thinking? It does need to be on. Now that we've got grass going. I don't think anything's sent over here yet because we just started it, but yeah. Once 10 o'clock or 11 o'clock hits, it'll start making some more from the silage ships over there. We do have some milk coming in. It's not a ton of milk, but we do have some milk. As a matter of fact, some of this money next month we'll probably buy. Maybe we max out our cows just because it takes so long for them to reproduce. I mean, we're really probably not going to have them at a state to reproduce until closer to the end of the series, and at that point we can probably sell some of the ones we've purchased and then let them reproduce, right? And then once they reproduce, they're obviously not going to be very old, but when the end of the series comes, we can at least make a little bit of extra money off of them that way, right? That's kind of the goal. And the last remaining manure is going in there. And we are set, gang. We're going to leave the episode at this point. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, make sure you smash the like, subscribe button. Let me know if you think I'm winning or not. Doesn't really make that big of a difference, but, you know, I'm trying to win. As I've mentioned at the beginning of the episode, I'm trying. Make sure you check out their videos, Crestu and Rusty Money Gaming. Their links to their channels are down below. Thanks to my members. Cannot thank them enough. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.